Chad, have you ever been this smart? Hello and welcome to another YouTube video. I'm Tandy, and on today's video, we are going to be trying out a new build of Ensoul Artifact. Instead of blue-red like we've been playing, we're going to try out a blue-white build featuring all of the Thraben inspectors possible, as well as some other goodies to tag along with it. Our 1-drops are the most important cards in this deck, with Novice Inspector being a functional reprint of Thraben Inspector. We basically get 8 copies of the effect, and so that means that artifact-based things can be more reliable, because instead of just playing like a 1-mana 1/1 artifact creature, for example, we get a creature and we get an artifact, and that extra piece of cardboard allows us to do all sorts of really interesting things. Namely, it allows us to fuel Warden of the Inner Sky. This powerful 1-drop creature allows you to tap 3 artifacts or creatures to put a +1/+1 counter on it and scry 1, and we can utilize that along with all of our other things to churn through our deck looking for our payoffs, on top of just giving extra life to our 1-drop creatures. Spyglass Siren is similarly strong in the realm of Novice Inspector and Thraben Inspector, acting as our 12th 1-drop that gives us the ability to make a token. We're also playing 4 copies of Portable Hole to give us a little bit of interaction. It's also an artifact, and so we can play it at multiple instances and utilize it with Warden. Not sold on it. Might need these in the sideboard instead of the main, but we have 4 of these in the main and 3 Duskrose Reliquary in the sideboard when we do want some more removal. Our big payoffs for playing so many artifacts, we're going to start with Michiko's Reign of Truth. This is a powerful enchantment that counts artifacts and enchantments to give a buff to one of your creatures. And then on chapter 3, it transforms into an XX. Basically, the backside is a Regal Bunnycorn. We have 4 copies of Ensoul Artifact to go along with the Michiko's Reign. This is one of the more powerful cards in the deck, doing lots of burst damage. 2 copies of Subterranean Schooner. This card is a worse Smuggler's Copter, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. And we're playing these along with 4 Smuggler's Copter to pair nicely with our 1-drop creatures. Lastly, we have Case of the Filch Falcon. This is a brand new card, 1 blue for a case that investigates. You get a clue token, so it makes an artifact. And then once you control 3 or more artifacts at the end of your turn, it transforms, and then you may spend 3 and sack this to put 4 counters on an artifact, and then it gains flying. And then that is the Case of the Filch Falcon. But this whole deck is kind of reminiscent of the Izzet Ensoul deck, and that one had Shrapnel Blast, and this one doesn't. And so we must consider that when evaluating whether or not we like the cards or dislike the cards. I have considered Regal Bunnycorn in the 2-drop slot as well. If I were to play the Regal Bunnycorn, it would be over the 2 Subterranean Schooners, 1 Case of the Filch Falcon, and 1 Portable Hole or land. And I think with adding 2-drops, we'd want to do it over the Portable Hole. But that's kind of where I'm at. I think Bunny might be good, but I want to try the artifact heavy builds first. Sideboard, we got 2 Unlicensed Hearse. This is mostly for Phoenix, but can come in a number of graveyard-centric matchups. 3 Metallic Rebuke. This is a nice counterspell to have access to when our deck is mostly artifacts. 2 Surge of Salvation, a nice anti-red sweeper card. 3 copies of Duskrose Reliquary. This is extra removal to go along with Portable Hole. This takes care of the larger green creatures out of Gruul or Mono Green. 2 Lorna of the Third Path. This is mostly for temporary lockdown. And then lastly, a couple copies of Get Lost to act as extra disenchants or big removal to go along with Dustrose, depending on the matchup. Lastly, we are playing Giganta, even though we cannot cast it, because we are playing Smuggler's Copter as a looter. And so I'm assuming that at some point we will play a game where we have 3 mana, and the ability to put a Giganta in our hand as a blank piece of cardboard will make something like Smuggler's Copter a bit better. That said, this can be any other card, and I would not be mad at you for it, but we just want to see if it'll work. All right, this is Blue-Red Ensoul. Let's play League. All right, we'll keep this one. We got turn 1 Case, turn 2 Ensoul or Copter, depending on the matchup. Opponent is Giganta. I'm going to see how this Case card feels so far. It feels good. All right, well, now I kind of just want to Ensoul and just push damage. All right, I'm going to attack for just 5. I could have played Michigo here to get it going, but we're going to hopefully draw something to crew. think I'm gonna do Copter. I think that Filch Falcon and Copter work well together. I think it becomes a 7/7. So I'm hoping next turn we draw a 1-cost artifact or enchantment generator. So we can do that plus case on the Copter and attack for a large chunk. There we go. Oh, I guess this isn't turned on yet. It's got to wait till next turn. So I probably should not have done that necessarily. So they can't deal with this clue here. But I can crew the Copter and trade Copters. But then, no, I'll still have 3 artifacts. I still have 3 artifacts. Maybe I should Michiko's the Smugglers though so they can't trade. Maybe that's way better. +6. Now they're forced to chump block this. And then the case will transform next turn and we'll have an extra thing. I'm going to loot. Probably should have held the land. I think Schooner's worse than Inspector for a couple of reasons. Well, so far it looks pretty good. I don't like this. I kind of wish these were Ginger Brutes. I think the game would already be over, basically, if I had Ginger Brute in the subterranean Schooner slots. But I also kept a hand without a lot of good ones. I kept just Case. And so getting Case at Chapter 3, or to solved status, was a little more difficult than normal. But now, next turn, I can go Crew Copter, Case on the Clue token, Smash for a bunch. And I can still just put the counters on the Copter as well. And my Michikos can also target Novice Inspector. So they only have 2 blockers. I think they're dead. I can crew the Copter now. Let's put a stop during my draw step. I can draw a card first before I make any crew decisions. Portable Hole. Okay, that should make things easy. So they have 1 flyer. So I just Portable Hole this. Make a flyer. There's a million ways to do it. It doesn't matter. I'll target Inspector. We'll hit Copter. We'll put counters on the Copter, attack for a bunch. Oh, this isn't lethal, but it does force 2 blocks. I'm stupid. I think I messed up. I don't know. It does not work how I thought. Does not work how I thought. Okay, that's unfortunate. I thought the case was going to be significantly better, but I should never do that again. Good to know, though. So they chump here, trade there, take 4 down to 4, but their board position is basically non-existent. All right, well, if I end up losing this game, it's because I don't know how my cards work, but that's okay. Now we get a big Michiko flip. We can play another Thraben. They're going to discard an Epicure. Let's see what they reveal. Darksteel Citadel. Okay. No cards left in hand, though. Look, this is why we play, right? We play to learn. We play to learn the interactions and to learn how the decks work. Pops a Spyglass. I'm gonna bottom. I thought I was gonna draw it and play it, but it was just better to just pass. Could still draw. I know, but then it'll shrink the portrait. And I can't play anything off the draw, so I'd rather just not. Or at the very least, wait till the end step. Alright, so they have to attack. We're going to block with the Michiko. Let's see what they... Discarded a Darksteel Citadel. Reveal another Darksteel. And now we won't crack because of reasons. Alright, bring in some Lorens of the Third Path. Some Dust Roses. Maybe some Get Lost. The Get Lost might be a little extra. I like the Lorens and the Dust Rose, though. This is a matchup where I think Schooner can come out. And I think we can trim a couple of Michikos. I'm going to trim 1 case as well. We're getting a little more interactive, and so we still want our, like, novices and stuff, but we need to trim some of our payoffs. And our Michikos and Ensoul, those are payoffs. And our worst enabler is easily Subterranean Schooner. But, I mean, that was a very easy game to win. And we picked a bad line because we weren't sure how our card worked. But now we are aware of how our card worked. So the reason why it doesn't work is because it becomes a 0/0 bird. That's okay. We'll just make sure to only put it on, like, clue tokens or whatever. But that's also a reason why maybe it's not good. gonna keep the sand. Sand looks pretty good. All right, I don't think there's any reason to portable hold this. We're gonna play Spyglass. Next turn we can go Filch, portable hold, transform Filch. These are the games where Filch looks great, right? Along with the other ones. And next turn I can just make a 4/4 flyer and start attacking in the air with the Spyglass. I'm gonna attack for 1. I don't think holding back is correct. I'm not sure that using the case next turn is even right, but if we're just in a racing scenario, it's pretty good. You can even put a Dark Soul Citadel so it's indestructible. Are we racing? I think we just chill. I think I'm fine attacking for 1. All the damage might matter eventually. Making an indestructible thing, it's going to be hard for them to get it off the table. They could have Otawara, maybe some Disenchant. All right, let's go a Ganjo. I'm going to play a Filch and a Copter. I still don't think it's right to attack. Now we got both cases online though, so we can start making some 4/4 flyers. And our Dark Soul Sigils are just dueling until we can find another portable hole or something to deal with theirs. I'm definitely going to go for a block. Oh, let's hope they hit a land. All right, good. They hit a land. We'll definitely offer the trade since we have a backup Copter. I guess there's some chance they have Fire Temper. I'm going to wait for them to finish discarding. I know that's basically 0%, but it's not. It's basically as close to 0 as it can get without being 0. But people are wild. I think I just have muscle memory that like happened to me before. All right, we do get to loot on the block, which is sicko. We will. Extra land, no bueners. And now we'll just filch up some clue tokens and map tokens for a little bit. All right, let's go blue. We got plenty of white already. We'll go filch on a clue. I'm going to map on the Spyglass. My best friend. Oh no, I'm getting shrapnel blasted. Might be dead here, chat. Got me. That game was definitely a showcase in inefficiency with the cases, but they weren't bad looking. We got beat. All right, let's keep this. I made an early aggressive play against the Copter. I'm not sure was right. Here, I think I'm going to play Ganjo so I don't take damage. I don't feel like I'm going to be doing it anytime soon. My opponent's Shrapnel Blasts in all together have probably dealt me more damage than I've dealt my opponents with my own Shrapnel Blast, so that'll probably answer question. All right, Drew Smugglers, or Drew Seachrome. We'll play Smugglers. I'm going to attack. If they go Ensoul attack, I'm not jumping with Smuggler's Copter anyway, so. Yeah, Gleaming Geardrake is good with case, but it's bad with, what you calls it. All right, we're going to get aggressive here. We're going to take away the Smuggler's Copter. I'm going to Inspector Crew attack for 4. And now we'll just pressure with the Copter, looking for some more payoffs. Yeah, I don't think Geardrake is bad. I just think that Geardrake is worse when you play Dark Soul Citadel. The one league where I got to play with it, I just drew 2 Dark Soul Citadels a couple times and could not cast it, which sucked. And it's not that it's impossible to cast. It's that the times where you can't cast it, you lose the game almost on the spot. That's the big deal. All right, so we've used every mana every turn so far. Inti. All right, we'll take the 2. See what they get. They don't have a blue source. They should not have played their land first. That was a mistake. I'm sure my Smuggler's Copter is going to die this turn. All right, let's play Warden first. I'm going to tap it and the 2 clues to scry. Now they have an incentive to torch that instead. And so now my Copter can get big. Top card is a Novice. Okay. Wonder if I should have explored instead. Now I guess my Thrabens can double block something. I'll just attack for 4 flying. We don't get a good loot though, which sucks. Dust Rose goes grave. That portable hole was better. I mean, yeah, sure. I assumed it was going to die. It always dies. I was going to do it again and again, but it died. All right, so if they discard again, they discard a Shrapnel Blast. I'll definitely take 3 here. I'll pierce off the top, lol. 1 card in hand, no blue mana. They can pop this blood token. Let's keep their exile up. So we can lure in the blood, and they'll just draw a card in response probably. But I think their last card might actually be another torch. And they torched last turn out of desperation in hopes that they could torch this turn on the Smuggler's Copter. But I suppose we can just map. Before we make any decision, we can pop a map. I'm going to target Thraben so we can attack for 2 on the ground, as well as in conjunction with things in the air. Portable hull. No, we'll keep the portable hull. See if they pop the blood tokens, we'll have more information. Alright, I'm assuming whatever I do here is going to die. And they can't Soken's on with mana, so I'm going to crew with Spyglass so I can attack with things on the ground, but I don't think that it matters all that much. But this is almost certainly getting popped with Torch, too. God, I'm so smart, chat. Chat, have you ever been this smart? Alright, they finally drew Blue Source, but they don't have anything to do with it, so they just shock. By Gigantha. I don't know why they shocked. They're not even dead. Alright, that'll be it. I'll definitely keep this hand. We'll go Warden first because we can go Thraben, Darkseal, and give it a +1/+1. Alright, Swamp is the turn 1 play for them. Now I just want to play the Schooner, though, to be more mana efficient. I assume that the Warden's going to die also. So let's just do this and play Schooner. We could, I guess, played... Yeah, I guess we couldn't play Schooner and +1/+1. Well, they didn't kill this, but maybe they're Rakdos and they're going to go Mountain Stomp. Maybe Mono Black. Go for Thread's fine. We'll get Thraben down, do some crewing. I guess we'll go ahead and Michigos as well, because we have 2 targets next turn. And I'll go Hinge Gate so we don't take any damage. It's a pretty big buff here. We're going to attack for 7. And we get to explore. I guess I'll keep another Schooner. Next turn, I think I'll start by crewing Schooner before I get to my main. And that way I can just target this with a Michigo in case it dies. I'm going to draw a card in case I draw a Portable Hole. That's a good draw. Now, Michigos will get us up. Top card's another Michigo. I kind of think we need another creature, but maybe we don't. Because this is going to transform next turn. Whenever Michigo first came out, I was in love with it. I only stopped playing the white artifact decks because of March. There was a couple other things too, but March was a big deal for a while. All right, so we're going to force a chump block here. All right, swang on them. And we even found the lands. And case of the Filched Falcon. All right, Rakdos mid. Surge is basically just counterspell. I don't hate Loran. I don't think Portable Hole is good enough. It was obviously solid in that game in that spot, but in general, I don't think it does enough. So we're going to trim it. And I don't think we need Get Lost or Dust Rose. So I'll just have a couple of 1 white counter spells and some Lorens to kill Fable. All right, we'll keep this one. All right, let's see what they take. Oh, they took my Novice. Joke's on you, I got a backup. We're going to play this one because we have more white 1-drops than blue 1-drops. Next turn we can play a Case and another white 1-drop. I guess I could have Adhikar wasted instead. That's why we play 8. Well, really, it's why we play 12, if I'm being real. Well, all right. Well, I guess we'll just draw a card with a clue. Triple discard here. Get the Filch down. Attack for 1. Do I want to play this Michigo into a pretty obvious removal spell? I think so. I think it's just doing... We can't really do anything else. And eventually this will just be a big thing. And I don't want to pop a clue because it makes the Filch Falcon less likely to get off anytime soon. So we'll just soak this Fatal Push. And then in 2 turns, this will just be a Bunnycorn. And I think that'll be... I mean, maybe it won't be good enough to win, but who can beat triple removal push into Shield Dread, right? Jeez Louise. I really wish the case is solved immediately, man. I would love to go Darkseal Citadel Case this turn. I don't think I can afford to pop the clues. No cards in hand, though. Can on their turn? This card's a lot better than I thought. Jeez Louise. No, you're right. I just messed up. I didn't know I could do it at instant speed. I think I'll definitely offer the Portrait trade on Shield Red and then end of turn the Filch if I have to. Alright, let's just make a big Darksteel. We're getting low on life, though. I think I'm going to draw a card. Maybe I should attack for 5 first? I think I have to bring in Dust Rose. I'm gonna say go. The Den of the Bugbear is like too terrifying. Michiko's not big enough. We could have attacked, but they can just jump with Goblin. But now Fable's gonna beat us. Can we cast Gigantha? No. We looted away. We could build with Springleaf Drum, but I'm not into it. Alright. I think I'm gonna cut the Lawrence. Bring in some Dusk Rose. I think I'm gonna cut a land. I'm gonna cut a Gonjo. Maybe Plains is worse. Sounds great. Now the question is, do we play around Thoughtseize? I think I hold up Surge to counter a Thoughtseize here, so that I can get Michiko's down on 3 with a big attack. They're also mulliganing to 5. We also know that they are playing a bunch of Duress after sideboard as well. Maybe I don't. Maybe I save Surge for the... Nah, fuck them. I'm going to get them with the Surge. We're going to counter a Thoughtseize or a Duress to try to save our Michigos. They also mulligan to 5, so we want to really hammer them if that's their interaction point. All right, Surge on your Duress. And now we go double 1-drop into Michigos. Maybe 3 1-drops into Michigos. Great draw here. Bottom of the land. It's another buff on Michigo, but it's still a land. Now they can't stomp this either. Nice. Excellent. Everything's going according to plan. Actually, let's go for Spyglass. Spyglass is, I think, slightly better here over Michigo's. You can also get 1 extra damage in and scry 1. Ensoul on top is perfect. Bone Crusher is nothing. They are extremely dead. Spyglass gets the buff. Have these. Bottom the land. Force a chump. We have odds and evens though, so even Extinction Event's not that bad. All right, 2-0. We're gonna call it here, but the deck looks pretty good so far. I'm gonna share the deck lists in chat now if you're interested. We can also take a look at it. We'll talk a little bit about it, but long story short, the Michigo's reigns look pretty solid, but the thing that I'm really happy about is the 12 1-drops that make an artifact. And along with Warden of the Inner Sky. Warden has felt pretty sick so far. And those with like Smuggler's Copter just gives us some extra things to do with the Smuggler's Copter. I'm not sold on the Schooner, but so far it looks solid. The case of Filch Falcon is a little more expensive than I think we want to pay for the 3-drop thing. It's also 1 point smaller, which I don't like. The flying is kind of cool. Being able to do it on instant speed on your opponent's insub's kind of cool. It did come up in that one game, but I don't know if it's going to come up that often. Surge of Salvation out of the board, obviously there, protecting us from a discard spell was kind of cool. I'm not sold on it, but it's there and it's interesting.